Welcome to the Circle Talk Show that comes on your way every Thursday. I am your host, Kadin Sujete. With me in the studio, we have Mr. Jeng, an educationist from Olilum Senior Secondary School. Mr. Jeng, you're welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here. I am Mr. Momodo S. Jeng, a teacher at Olilum Senior Secondary School, teaching maths and science. And then it's a great pleasure being invited to Jimbala TV, and then I'm very grateful for that.
Thank you for having you today. And then today, our topic of discussion is going to be centered on students-teachers relationship and the importance of the connection between the students and the teachers. Mr. Jeng, I just want to ask few questions based on your experience, because you have been a teacher for so long now in Olilum Senior Secondary School. And then I've noticed that some students will always come up with issues, some will underperform because of their problems at home, in the society, and even in schools. So how do you cope with that as a teacher?
Regarding the teachers' impacts to student life, I think with my 5 years of experience at the senior school, I can at least say a little on that. And then teachers impact student life by inspiring them, motivating them, and also making them to believe in themselves. Because like we said, teaching is a noble profession, and then we are not just to teach our subject areas, but also to make students believe that there is a high possibility that they must achieve their goals with the concept we need to put onto them. Because teaching, like I said, it has to do with the administration, the staffs, and then the students in an environment. We are teaching because of them, and they are also called students because of teachers. So at some point, if you are a teacher, you need to know your level of your students regarding how they are doing at home, at school, and then to know their weak areas, and also to be their second parents. Like I said, we all know that the time we spend at school, it's more than the time we spend at home. So as a teacher, you need to know how to guide your students. You need to, put that mentality into them that they need to believe in themselves. There's a high possibility that things will be in the way that, or the direction that they want it to be. So this is why we help them to discover their strengths and passions.
That's also true. Because like as a teacher, you should not always be in the class teaching the subject area only. Sometimes it's important for you to give students advices. Maybe that advice, maybe if I'm someone that already left the way, that advice or that little advice can make me realize my mistakes and then come back to my senses or make me improve. So how do you cope? You teach maths and science. How do you cope with students that do not like maths?
It's not easy because like I said, some students think like you don't need maths, or maths is not an important subject. But as a great teacher, you need to be passionate and you need to be caring, and also you need to make sure that students value all the subjects equally. Sometimes you get that challenges at school level, whereas you see students will be selecting the subjects that they need to do. More especially with the math teachers, we find it very difficult because, like I said, I'm also teaching art students, but majority of them have the belief that as an art student you don't need maths. Understand? Because even when enrolling students, grade 10 students, normally what they put into them is like their colleagues. If you are good in maths, you need to do commerce, and then if you are good in reading, you need to do arts. I think those type of mentalities need to change, because generally I am also a science student. I did science in my school level, and then today here I am teaching maths. Like in life, you need to calculate. Whatever you do, you calculate. Even coming from home to school, there is calculation there, sitting at class and reading, all those things. So I cannot understand why sometimes students find it very difficult to cope with mathematics. And then also we try by all means to create or inspire love for their learning, and then build confidence in them, making them believe that they can do it if they put little interest in it. Because you being a teacher, you already know what you are teaching, but the students that are there, you need to make it simple to them, or you come down to their layman to make them build interest in the subject area that you are teaching. So I think this is also important. Sometimes we try to put things in that way to make them believe that these are things that they can do if they want to do it.
Yeah, that's also true. So coming back to like the students came from different backgrounds. Some people will go through a lot of traumas. Some will be from the village to the combos to land, and then those kind of people, like they are not cared for like when they are in their usual homes. So how do you cope with those kind of people when using your teacher skill to solve their problems or their issues when they are in your class?
Yeah, I think teachers can be a catalyst for change, because sometimes in the class you might see a student not performing well, but that doesn't mean he or she is not interested in education. Like I said, being a teacher, you have to go deep to your individual students' life to know what they are going through, and then it's not easy. Sometimes these kids, they are getting a lot of trauma at home. Most of the students who are here in Combos for educational purposes, they are not staying with their family members. Understand? So like I said, I even had an experience with one of my students that is 2 years back. I have been monitoring when she's in class. She's always quiet, and then she doesn't perform well, and immediately the bell goes. Instead of staying for study, she normally go home. So I have been monitoring that for a week or so I decided to engage myself into it, since I'm also a parent, and then I need to take that responsibility as a class teacher. So I called her friends, and I asked what is happening to her, and then they were later telling me that the student is going through a lot at home. Like she's not directly close to them, she's just there for education, but she has to do all the home chores before coming. And then I came to realize that house is full of female guys there. They could help, but at the end of the day, what they do is, because she's not part of the family, they need to put all those labor jobs on her, home chores for her to do before coming to school. And then these are all things that also students go through, and then which will lead them not to focus in class. Because imagine someone coming for morning classes, doing all those works at home, sweeping, cleaning, at the end of the day you'll be tired. Exactly. So if you come, all that can trigger the individual's education. So when she come, and then I tried to go deep, and then she even insisted not to tell me, but I was like, I'm a teacher, and I'm also a family member too. I need to know what is bothering you. So I went on, even from her friends told me that she doesn't even bring lunch. But what happened is, the people that she's staying with, they told her plain that they don't have the money to sponsor her. And then all that also are things that triggered her to an extent that she got pregnant. I don't even know it. The time I realized it was 8 months. She was pregnant for 8 months, and imagine how selfish some people could be. The guardians don't even know that she was pregnant. So with the help of my students, we were able to make some contribution for her, and then I personally take her to the hospital. That's the time I knew that she was 8 months pregnant. So when I investigated the issue and I asked her, she was crying, regretting the fact that this was not something that she intended to do. So I told her, we are all born to make mistakes. Like I said, I'm a teacher today, but yesterday I was a student. So we all know student life is not easy. So that was a day she called me and said she could not come to school because she's within her labor period. So she gave birth to a bouncing baby boy, and then told us that she told us that she could not continue the schooling because she cannot be having the child at home and then coming. So I told her there is nothing impossible. So we discussed within among ourselves, and then I talked to my students that let nobody put this stigma onto her. It could be, it can happen to anybody. We are all not perfect. So what we did was we tried to make some fun for her, to buy some baby stuffs for her, and then the things that she needs. So she also told me that she would love to be in school, but at the end of the day, putting these two things together will not work because she cannot leave the child at home and come. So what we did, we decided to buy this breastfeed bottle milk that sucks it out from the mother's breast, and then you will keep it. So I told her, what you're gonna do is you come to school in the morning, have your class, then during break I will escort you, and then you go and breastfeed your child, and then come back to school. So this is how we manage things. And then she graduated with, I think, 4 to 5 credits.
Mashallah.
Yeah, she went to Gambia College, and then later on she called me to say that she has already finished her institutional this thing at Gambia College, and then finally she is teaching. So these are all things that, you know, at the end of the day, you being the teacher, if you are not involved fully in your students' life, you will not know what they are going through. You will be judgmental or even try to punish some of them, not knowing that some of them are going through a lot. Yeah.
I think this is one of the best qualities of a teacher. Like a teacher should have. You should motivate your students. If you were not a good teacher to be there for her, she would have stopped her education, and who knows what would have happened. But then now that she is teaching, maybe someday or the other she can made it on her own. So you have helped someone in shaping her future. So I believe this is what all teachers should do. Help their students. But some teachers, somehow they are being judgmental. Maybe if this person was in their class, they would be like, she went out and played until she did that, or maybe like she's not interested in education, instead of finding out what the story is really about. So based on this experience that you had, what do you think are the qualities or like the teachers who possess?
Well, I think it's a good question that you ask. A teacher needs to be passionate, and then you need to be caring, and you also need to be dedicated.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to try to connect with your students to know their problems and to know what is bothering them. Like I said, if you are not connected with your student, there are a lot of things that you will not be knowing that is, you know, traumatizing them. And a great teacher also need to inspire or put love into your students, and also make them to understand that you being a teacher, the reason why you are teaching them is because of they the students, and also for them being a student, or they are called students because of teachers. So these two have to work together. You need to put that love, and then you have to make them understand that you understand their problem is also your problem, and then you need to stand as their parent, I can say, because being a teacher alone doesn't mean that you have to be focused on just the teaching. Sometimes it's even good to go to visit them at home to know the situation in which they are living, and then this will also help you in knowing the reason why some of the students are not performing well at school. Like I said, the incident of what this student that I just explained, it's not only her. I also have another student also who was also going through a lot, but because I went to their house and then I realized that, you know, this is the situation that he's living in. He even told me that he's going to leave school, but he thinks that he's not going to make it. So I tried my level best to encourage him and also make him feel like I was also a student, and we all had that mentality. But at the end of the day, I was able to, you know, convince him to an extent that he has also, you know, put hands together. We put hands together to help him, and then he has finished. Finally, he is doing electric at GTTI, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Wow.
So these are all things that you know, if you are only sitting at class room level without engaging your students, you will not know what they are going
It's
through.
also something very interesting. So somehow, what do you think it's stopping students from telling their teachers what they are going through or their problem?
Yeah, because there is no positive connection, or there is no positive relationship between a teacher and a student. Sometimes you see it happens even at school level. Some teachers are, you know, students get closer to some teachers, and then even in the midst of your colleagues, some of them might think that you have some personal interest that is going on, or you know, you have some one or two between you and those individuals. More especially when they see female students coming closer to you. Like I said, this government school, most of the students, they are not from a you know, rich background. Some of them are from a very poor background. So sometimes you see a student who will come to school without even having a lunch, because you will not know that if you are not connected with your students. And you also have to, you know, come down to their lemma. You have to make them believe that you understand, inside class you are a teacher, but outside we are all equal. This is how you will get to know your problem, your students' problem, and this is how it will also help you in order to solve them, or even if you cannot solve them, but you will be able to stand, you know, and then give them advices or put them in the right direction, whereas in tomorrow they will be able to benefit themselves in the, you know, expected ways that you want. Like, you need to build the confidence, and then also have to make sure that you build a positive relationship that will foster their engagement, improve their academic performance. I think this is also important for us to also, know that. Yeah.
It is also very, very important. So why do you think students do remember their great teachers?
Like I said, as a human being, you being a teacher, if let's say you are too selfish to your students, you don't get to know their problems, or you are very harsh with them, sometimes these students will tend to see that you are creating enmity within them. So I believe, like a teacher, like I said, we are all human beings and we are not perfect. And then these students are also young, and myself, I don't know for others, but what I know is I was one time a student, and then with the help of the teachers who taught me and made me believe that I can do it, I'm here teaching other students. So this is my philosophy, and this is how I also want it to be. We don't need to be selfish. Someone was there for us, and then today we need to be there for some too, for them to make it in life. Because a piece of advice, a caring teacher, and then motivated students can also, these are all things, like I said, these are things that will make students not to forget about you. Because if you see a student going in the wrong direction and then you try to bring them back, you make them believe in themselves that they can do it if they want to do it. At the end of the day, if that person has, excelled in life, you see, it will not be easy for the individual to forget that, someone was there for me, and then this is, how, I used to be, but with the help of his motivation and the belief he put into me, today I am who I am. So this is why sometimes it's not easy. It happens even in the society. You see a teacher at the street level, you will see your student who will not want to greet you. You understand? Because what happened, they will think about the past, the way you tormented them, the way you made them believe that they cannot do it in life. When they see you outside, they will not even greet you. But if I a teacher who knows that you always make that connection with the students, you make them believe that they can do it, you even help them psychologically, physically, mentally, even if they don't make it in life, but they will still remember you for that effort you have also put onto them. Yeah, I think these are all things that make students not to forget about their teachers.
This is a great thing. So what message will you have to send to the teachers or your fellow teachers out there who will be discouraging students about their field of study? Like if they see you fail their subject 1 or 2 times, they'll be like, this is not your way. It's better if you go out and start learning skills or whatsoever. What advice will you have for those students?
I think teaching plays a significant role in shaping students' future. And then when you look at it, by equipping students with knowledge, skills, and all, so we, the teachers, we need to understand that the students, they are our brothers, they are our sisters, and then they are our kids. You understand? Sometimes it's not easy. When you put yourself in their shoe, you will know that it's not easy. You understand? Some come to school with stresses, some come to school without lunch, and others also come to school, with a lot of difficulties that they are going through. So we need to put ourselves in their layman, and then we need to make sure that their happiness is our priority. And then, but the reason, I also don't blame them that much, because sometimes, as a teacher, when you want to engage too much with your students, you see some of your colleagues will think that you have some personal interest with them. Like I will also not conclude or judge, because it is also happening in the environment. But like I said, you need to know your limits. You need to know where where you need to go with your students, and then what topic of discussion you know. But as a teacher, you are not just there to be only a classroom teacher or a subject teacher, but you need to act like a parent to them.
That's it.
When you see them going through a long direction, talk to them. We are all human beings, but there's a way you approach students. They'll feel like you are not trying to advise them, or you want to apply force on it. No, like I got a student who was, a drunkard, like I said, sorry to use that word, and then he believes that, this is the only way out to remove stress. So I called him, I asked him, why are you always engaged in this, alcoholic stuff or smoking? So he told me, Mr. Jeng, this is what gives me happiness. So I told him, this is not the only way you can get happiness. And then thank God, with the encouragement, and then from my colleagues, that I need to push hard to, remove remove that from his mentality that, this is the only solution to his problem. So I keep on trying. I even visit him at home. Sometimes I even ask him that if you don't smoke or if you don't drink this, I'll give you this and this, or I'll buy clothes for him. So I was able to convince him, and then thank God, even I think yesterday I met him at MDI. Is it yesterday or last week? I met him up in the MDI. So I asked him, "What are you doing?" He said he's studying engineering.
Wow,
so I can say, like, these are all things that we can do as teachers to make sure we make some little bit changes. Yeah. So
yeah, I believe as a teacher, you are not just there to teach in class. You should show the students the right direction. If they miss their ways, give them advices that will be beneficial to them, and then do not discourage them. Once they fail once, like, no one is born to be a failure, definitely. And then nothing stays forever. So once you're there giving them those advices and motivations, one day they are going to be the person you want to see or you want them to be. But if you're someone that will be there discouraging them, at least that is going to kill their spirit. They will not feel like, yes, I am capable of doing it, or I can do it. So that is the other, another problem. Thank you so much for coming. And finally, what message will you send to the public, the students, the school, and whatever outside?
Yeah, I don't have much to say, but all I have to say is school is our second home. And then this is where we get to build that relationship among ourselves. Sometimes you being a teacher, you will not even know that you have a family member there. But getting closer to each other, building the love, and then the respect. At the end of the day, you came to know that we are all related. We are all related in one way or the other. But school is a nice environment that it can be conducive for everybody. Let's just try to be patient. Let's try to be that role model that students have to look onto us, and then when we do that, at the end of the day, the environment will be very conducive for everybody. So let's just have patience. As a teacher, you need to have patience, because you are teaching different students from different backgrounds, different attitudes. So you need to be patient enough to to make sure you regulate everything that you at least, even if you cannot do everything, but you try to be patient enough to at least solve many of the problems that students are facing. And it can be possible. If it can be possible, let's just put hands together, and then let's believe that we can make a change. We the teachers, you can definitely make a change if you are ready to join hands together and work as a team. School is our second home. Like I said, we might not be related by blood, but we can be connected by the heart, and the heart, what does it do? It pumps blood. So at the end of the day, this is the little message I have for my colleagues, and then I also yearn that it will be implemented in one way or the other. So
thank you so much. But I can also tell you, there are some teachers who don't even recognize their students. So how can you help solve their problems when you don't even recognize it? But I think